Snap-on is not a tool company. It's a marketing and finance company. They don't give a crap about the tool. So I get an invoice that has a page like this, and it has a page like this, and it has another page like this. And so because I qualified for the best financing rate of a very generous 9.9%, but this one I got in the mail said 18%. When you take this equation, you get the price. But the retail, the total retail, so this is what I paid. $400 EC rebate for putting it on the line of credit. You get this bill in the mail sometimes, not all the time, but it's not a bill. I can't pay it. You have to pay on the truck. So you can see where my frickin' head is about to explode. The whole thing just gets so confusing. I'm like, now, if you're the average, mechanic, all this crap, you don't care about. All you care about is this. I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy, and so I needed to buy it. I need to spend my money on it. If I'm gonna spend my money on it, I want to understand it. And the conclusion I've come to is that this here, with all these layers of weirdness, this is what matters to the person buying, and this is what matters to the company selling. That the thing that matters most to me is inconsequential. It's not the thing. It's not the thing that we care about most. What is the price? What am I going to pay for it? As long as I know it's the best, then I'm cool with all of this frickin' whiteboard craziness of all this different stuff. All right, welcome to the OG whiteboard, and we're going to try to do some math here together. I want to go through the details of what I've learned thus far on toolboxes. It shouldn't be this complicated. I'm going to try to reason this out, and some of this is me trying to figure out like how this game is played, and understanding it, and figure out what the value is. And in this case, I'm analyzing the two brands that I've been spending a lot of time with here lately is Snap-on and then the Sonic stuff that I'm so familiar with. So Snap-on, I think we had, so if I look at the stack of papers, so this, I spent a couple hours this morning plus several hours before working through this, but I think the guys came, so I think I have, let's see, I have 526, that's 1, 6.2, that's 2, 623, that's 3, 721, 4, 821, 5, and there was one more 6. So I had 6 plus 2 visits where I didn't buy anything because we didn't have anything, so it was an 8 visits starting May 26th and ending on, I got my toolbox on 8/21 is when I got my toolbox. So that's right at 3 months worth of work, just to add some context. And I still wasn't able to get all the tools I wanted. We can explain that in a minute here, but it was about a 3-month process. So it wasn't too bad from ordering the toolbox. Sonic was 1 week. So I ordered the double box, ordered the tools, got it like a day later. So actually less than a week. And so that was just to add some context. Now, it doesn't always work out that way. If Sonic was missing a foam inlay or something, you might have to wait for it. But generally speaking, I'm talking about bringing tools over from the Netherlands. Is it Netherlands? Yeah, from the Netherlands, from Europe, and having to deal with transit times and stuff like that. So the U.S. representatives have done a great job of stocking. Now, one could argue that Snap-on is this multi-billion-dollar corporation, and so they have a lot more customers and they sell a lot more tools, and so it's the little guy versus the big guy. I'm just sharing my experience in buying tools and what matters and what doesn't. The other thing I noticed is that Mike F. had several warranty tools when the guy was coming by. It took him 2 months to get him a warranty tool and a simple 3/8" ratchet, normal length ratchet. And I think he had one other tool that took a month or so. So to me, that whole warranty argument is kind of moot because I could get a tool from Sonic probably quicker than I could get from the local Snap-on guy. Now, To add a little bit more context, Holden, my Snap-on guy, was a corporate guy, and so it was a corporately owned truck. He goes to different territories and sets them up. It may have been a little bit different experience had I had a franchisee, because a franchisee, depending on who they are, they may have invested more inventory, and so a franchisee can hold more inventory than, from what I understand, a corporate guy. And so that's part of the reason why I never actually got all the tools I wanted, and the tools that I did get took 3 months or so to get. So that's just part of the process, I guess, is part of the disadvantage of dealing with them. So let's get into it. So I don't know what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to fumble through it, but just to add some context, this is my former life. Here's what my name looked like. So it was Matt Moorman. I was CFP, Certified Financial Planner, SEMA. I think I couldn't find my CFP diploma, so it must be gone. So here's the proof. Here's the SEMA, and SEMA, they give you two things because SEMA has 2 steps. Oh shoot, that's my Amber Marshall autograph photo. Sorry, that was in there. This is from the Wharton School. And so the SEMA was certified investment management analyst. I was CHFC, chartered financial consultant, CHFC. I was, let's see, what was I? I had CLU, chartered life underwriter, CRPC, PC, chartered retirement planning consultant, and I think I had another one. I had 32. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm missing some. There was CFM in there, but they did away with CFM. That was Chartered Financial Manager. And I think it was CRPS, Chartered Retirement Plan Specialist. And then I was a senior vice president. This is what my business card looked like. President. And then I was also the senior resident director. So I managed the market, and then I had a certain number of clients and stuff. So my name looks something like that. It was something like my business card, right? And so I started interview process in 2004. And then I left Merrill Lynch in 2016, and then I went and I got fired from wealth management in 2018. So maybe I wasn't any good at it. No, I got fired for making these freaking videos, and I took my camera in my office. So I share that with you because I have a pretty high level understanding. So I had my series 7. I had my 66, I had my 8 and 9, I think it was, for management, and then you had your life, health, and variable annuity stuff, and so I had to take lots of tests. I think in my first 10 years of wealth management, I think I took it was something like 50 plus 2-hour plus proctored exams in finance. So just spending half my life working in finance. The reason I add that context here is because this frickin' Snap-on credit nonsense, I still don't fully understand it. I'm going to share with you what I think I know. And so imagine, finance guy spending 15 years of my life, and I don't know how to say this, but most finance guys are frickin' idiots. And I have an engineering background, so in finance, I was one of the smarter guys in the room. In engineering, I was one of the dumbest guys in the room. But so when you take an engineer and you put him in finance, I'm pretty good at math. I'm pretty good at understanding finance. And I'm still kind of struggling to understand how this thing works. So I add that context so you get an idea of where I'm coming from here. So this is my stack of papers. And this is the finance sheet. And then you also get this sent in the mail from Snap-on Credit or Finance. But you can't pay, it's not a bill because you can't pay them. You can only pay on the truck. So anyway, let's see if we can figure this out here. So maybe I should erase this. Let me get a paper towel or a microfiber towel. I'm not supposed to show this, but check this out. We have rolls, paper, like a paper towel roll, but of microfiber. It's gonna be freaking sick. Okay. All right. Let's get this off of here. It's gonna get mathy here. We're gonna have to dig in. Okay, so here's how I think this works. I think that, so at Snap-on, you have the tool, right? So we have the tool, and we have a cost associated with, so if we have the sort of the manufacturing of the tool. So you have to manufacture it, and that has a cost. What the frick am I doing? Sorry, I'm thinking ahead here, not. So you have, let's just do, manufacturing. So you have to make the tool, and the tool, and there's a cost to that, so there's a certain amount of money it costs to make the tool. And then you have a margin, so you have, let's call it the manufacturer's margin. Right, so you have to make the tool, and then you have to make some money on the tool because you have all these things in between. You have the warehouse, you have the manufacturing plant, you have all the logistics that goes with the tool, and so you have this margin has to pay for all the corporate stuff. The corporate structure also has to have some profitability in it, because Snap-on, I think, is a publicly traded company. And so you have to make money, and this is any business, any company. And then you have the transit costs. So you have to transit. We'll just call it transit cost, and that's to get to like my guy, here locally. But then where this gets dicey is that then you have the truck. So then you have truck margin. Right, and so the truck margin is, so we'll call these percentage, there's some dollars it costs to get it here, so we have some transit costs, and then we have the truck margin, and then, so these are all costs, and then you have your retail price, so you have your total retail. But this retail has a extra markup, from what I can tell. I guess the concept is that if you're just stupid, you would pay retail. Right, you go on the Snap-on's website. I like that they do this because they're not trying to steal from the franchisee. Like I could go to Snap-on site and buy something and ship it to me, but then they set their pricing higher than what their retail truck guys are selling, and they do that so that they don't steal. They don't want to make it. I like that they do this. They don't make it an advantage that if you go and buy on the website, you can sort of snake the sale. Like let's say the retail guy does a good job of teaching you about a tool, and you say, all right, thanks for your information, then go buy it online. And so these different margins add to this retail markup. But then on the retail markup, then you have several different options that you can do. So we kind of have these asides, these like side things that make it more complex, and that you have the ability to, from what I understand, there's a truck account. So there's a truck account, or there's they call it EC. I don't know what the heck that stands for, but there's a financing option. So these are financing, and you can finance on the truck, meaning that your franchisee now, I don't think my corporate guy can do that, but the franchisee could say, hey, here's the tool. I'm going to set you up on credit, and you pay it whenever you want. And I think that the truck guy could charge you interest or not, but generally I think this is no interest. And then you have the EC, which you can apply if you don't have, because a lot of guys I think may not, like if you're a starting out mechanic or something, you may not have established credit. But for me, I had this, I think EC maybe stands for extended credit. And so this is the, the financing option that you have. And from what I can tell, there's like 3 different types, according to what Holden was telling me. There's a mechanic, or like I guess just a regular person. So there's I don't know what they call it, just a practitioner, and then there's a shop owner. And so I have this shop owner option is what I have access to. So they ran a credit check. I think I had I have a $35,000 line of credit, LOC line of credit, and so that $35K I can use. Now, it's kind of stupid because I couldn't. So remember, I told you I had to have the guys come out 6 or 7 times. I couldn't just say, what I did is I gave them a list of every tool that I wanted and the toolbox that I wanted. And so in a normal environment, what you would do is you would say, okay, add it up, put it in the system, order it. And then you just, I have a $35,000 line of credit, you can just put it on the card, or put it on the financing line. But you can't do that. They can only run it when you take possession of the tool. But the problem is they don't have the tool. So this is what adds more confusion, and you can end up with a bunch of different sheets of paper. Every time you come out of the truck, you end up with former financing and then the new financing that you're doing on the new tool. So like for example, my first purchase was, let's see if I can figure this out. Where do my sheets go? My first purchase on 5/26 was $5,377.90. All right, so that was my first purchase. And so they put $5,377 on the line of credit. And the reason I did the line of credit is because you also get a rebate. So these all add up to the price. So this adds. And then financing could add. So we'll put parentheses around this. So depending on if you end up paying any interest, so if you pay interest, it could add to your price. But now you have the minuses. This gets so freaking complicated. So now I have financing credits. Actually, financing credits would come second. So they have tool discounts, so individual tool discounts. Because nobody pays this. So nobody pays that. And so this retail plus some insane markup is their MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price. And then you have the tool discount. And so this is dependent on, this here. I think the truck guy has the option. Now, this is what I'm struggling with. This tool discount will break this down a little bit further when we get into what I actually paid. And then you also have, if you do financing, because what they want you to do, Snap-on is not a tool company. It's a marketing and finance company. The tool is incidental to all. This is what I've learned. Some of these tools they made 50 years ago, and they just kind of keep cranking out the tool. In fact, I was watching a few videos, like the warranty stuff, like they just cut the tools in half and send them out. Like the tool is, they don't give a crap about the tool. That's where I struggle with this, and that's why I think I'm not super excited about it when I've got to go through all this financing and all this nonsense. So now, to make it simpler, you could just argue, Matt, just don't do the financing. Well, I wanted to see how this all worked. I didn't need to finance it, but I wanted to see how it all works. And so you have the tool discounts, and then you have the financing discounts because they want you to finance discount or credit or whatever you want, rebate. I guess they call it a rebate. And that is tiered based on how much you spend, and based on the type of, Snap-on credit account they set you up at. And so then when you take this equation, you get the price. So the struggle I've had is that, so my first purchase was $5,377.90. That was my total. But the total retail, so this is what I paid. And that $5,377 went on my line of credit. So this was on May 26th. And so, but the MSRP, was 6980.1 plus tax. And so because I put it on the finance and because it was over $5,000, I got a $400 EC rebate for putting it on the line of credit. And then I got roughly $1,400 in discounts. There were some products that were buy one, get one. And the other thing that I really struggled with in this whole process was that I don't want what they have on the truck. I want what I want, and so I want to go through the catalog. And so the whole thing just gets so confusing. I'm like, well, you could get the 13-piece set. I'm like, but there's a 17-piece set. What about the other 4 pieces? And I guess I'm the only idiot who cares about that. I want the whole complete set of sockets. I said, yeah, but if you buy that, there's no discounts on that. And so the thing to do is to get the buy one, get one, the BOGOs, and then they give you a freaking yard gnome and a crazy t-shirt and a dented cooler and, just all kinds of random crap. So that was the real frustrating part, was all the nonsense that they put you through to get to this. And so this here equals what I paid. Now this took me a long time to figure out. Because they really couldn't explain it, and maybe an experienced franchisee could explain this better. So I put this $5,300 on the line of credit, and you would think, me with my finance background, so now I have $32.10 available on my line of credit. Well, yes, but because I'm a shop owner, when you get the financing thing here, so then you get, so I get an invoice that has a page like this, and it has a page like this, and it has another page like this, and so you get these 3 different pages, and you're trying to figure out what's what, and there's the retail price, and then there's the other price, and then there's the other price, but then you get the financing sheet. And so because I qualified for the best financing rate of a very generous 9.9%, so I'm now at 9.9% because I've got great credit. And so they show you, and so then you have to pick. You have to pick your payment schedule. And so we picked 26 weeks. This is the only financing thing in the entire universe that does it on weeks. And I guess it's pretty genius because they have somebody coming to you every week. Now, you get this bill in the mail sometimes, not all the time, but it's not a bill. They can't pay it. So you have to pay on the truck. You can't pay to this thing that comes in the mail. So then I get this other thing in the mail. And so, but this one I got in the mail said 18%, right? So you can see where my frickin' head is about to explode. And so you choose how many weeks, and you can choose, I think, up to something crazy, like 180 weeks or something like that. So you can choose to spread it out. Now, if you follow the weekly schedule, then that's when you're going to pay. They give you a payment amount. So in this case, it was $214.80. And then that shows you that there will be a finance charge. But it doesn't quite break that down, I don't think. And so I'm not 100% sure how that works. But in other words, you're paying this. In this is a payment plus interest. And then after 26 weeks, this then breaks that down. But I have, as a shop owner, I have 6 months interest free. This took me like 3 or 4 meetings to get this figured out, to get them to tell me this. So I have 6 months interest free. And so I don't want to pay any freaking interest because I have the money. Why would I pay interest? And so I'm thinking, okay, I have this, and then minus that, and then I have, a bunch of money left over. So then my next transaction was I believe the next week, yeah. So this is 6/2. So then I had another $2,916. So this is at 6 months, but if I charge the next one, which is $2,916.66, so this is number 1, this is number 2. So this, in order to get 6 months, and not just put it on some weekly program, but from what I understand, if I do put this on the card, then this 6 months becomes weekly. So now this goes weekly and this goes weekly, and I lose this. But remember, I had a bunch of money. I had $29,000 left. But no, you can't do that. And so what I had to do, I had to pay this off without any interest. So I didn't pay any interest because it was 6 months interest free. Now this gets 6 months. And then my next transaction, we won't go through all of these, but you get the gist of my thing here. This took a while to figure out. Then the next one was 28. It's just like 2,800, so this is number 3. And so in order to get this on 6 months, I had to pay that off. What happens if you didn't have the money? Then you just start frickin' paying 9.9% interest. And so they accidentally entered it wrong, and so that one got charged. That was at the 18% interest rate. And so you can see how this is going. The frustration here is we have all this stuff going on. Now, if you're the average, mechanic, all this crap, you don't care about. All you care about is this. But I care about this. I'm frickin' spending my money on this stuff. And I'm really not trying to prove anybody wrong. I'm just trying to understand it. What I wanted to understand was, before I head down this tool path, buying Wera and Knipex and buying PB Swiss and Stahlville and all this stuff, dealing with some more Sonic stuff, deciding if I even like the Sonic stuff, maybe looking at some lower end stuff like Tekton, and then looking for specialty tools and building out a tool line. I wanted to make sure, is this even worth my time? Because everybody says conventional wisdom is this. And I'm sure they have this on a whiteboard somewhere. Snap-on is I guarantee you they say this, the best. In some cheesy NASCAR font, right? And so this is the conventional wisdom that everybody knows, everybody in the world believes. Snap-on is the best, not the best. And so I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy, and so I needed to buy it. I needed to buy it, I needed to spend my money on it. If I'm going to spend my money on it, I want to understand it. And the conclusion I've come to is that this here, with all these layers of weirdness, this is what matters to the person buying, and this is what matters to the company selling. That the thing that matters most to me is inconsequential. It's not the thing. It's not the thing that we care about most. It's what is the price? What am I going to pay for it? As long as I know it's the best, then I'm cool with all of this freaking whiteboard craziness of all this different stuff. And so let me erase this and let me just show you where I'm at with my toolbox. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, certainly. You couldn't just go online, you couldn't order stuff, you couldn't take a picture of a tool on your phone and have them send you a warranty claim. You couldn't do any of this stuff. It doesn't exist. And so this system, this old school system of all the different layers makes a lot of sense. But the current system, so let's say not just Sonic, but let's just say current, modern system of purchasing tools. So a modern system has a few less layers. So you have the tool, and you have the manufacturing, and so that costs money. And then you have the margin, right? And the margin is your, profitability, and your, the offsets the cost of the tool from the company, from the corporation. And then you have transit. And then sometimes, just like Snap-on a truck, you have the retailer, retail margin. So you generally have 2 layers of margin, and then you have the price. No weird games where you have like a price and then another price and another price and then the price that you negotiate and all the other price. So it's quite a bit simpler. Simpler for me to understand, simpler for you to understand. And so this margin here is what pays the manufacturer. This margin here is what pays the retailer, and then we get a price. Sometimes you might have a sale, right? So you can wait for the sale and then you get a discounted price, right? But generally speaking, in my world, I end here and let's just set a price. And so one of the struggles I had, and I kept talking to my guy, is that he comes in my shop, I tell him what I want to do. I'm not really very good at playing the games. And so the negotiated price, so I got whatever price he made up, because at Snap-on there's the price, so there's the price after all the discounts and all the other stuff, but then there's a whole nother line item somewhere down here, which is the negotiated price. And so let's just say, for example, I'm Joe Average, and I go on the truck, and I'm looking at this torque wrench, and the torque wrench is, $500. And I'm like, I've got a tattered shirt and my hands are all greased up, and my hat's like this, and I'm speaking in some form of the English language, but not totally. And the guy's gotten to know me, and he knows I don't have 2 pennies to rub together, but I really want that torque wrench. And so what he can do is say, that torque wrench is $500. Now, really, it's $1,822.47 on the made-up price, and then there's all the discounts and the discounts, and so now we're down to 500 bones. But he knows I don't have any money, and so you know what, Johnny, crazy guy. If you buy it today, we'll put it on a 786-week plan. And I'll sell it to you for $372.44, which is let's say it's 9% above his cost, because he knows he's not going to get anything out of me if he doesn't pull this off. And so I don't get that advantage. I just get whatever they kind of make up. And so this is the part that I really dislike, that whole wheeling, dealing game you got to play, because I guarantee you, on all the stuff that I bought, I probably got frickin' screwed. I got screwed on the toolbox, I got screwed on all the other stuff. So that is something to keep in mind that I find very, very frustrating, that I don't have to do in this game. They might run a Father's Day sale of 10%, but the rest of the year, I know what I'm paying. So there's none of this like, I'm Joe Average, or I'm not Joe Average, I'm Mr. Shop Owner, and I buy a lot of volume, and so I'm just a ball buster, and so I'm good at getting a good price. I just hate that whole nonsense. Go to a Porsche dealership, buy a Porsche, this is what it costs. This is why Tesla, Rivian, why the electric car models I think are so fantastic. They have to have a competitive price. The price is the price. Everybody pays the same price. I don't get to play either Joe Average or Joe Ballbuster. I don't get that option. I just like that life so much more. You can call me a frickin' sissy or whatever, but I just don't. I want them to simplify the process. So if we look at some of our statistics here of the toolboxes that we have out there. So Snap-on. So the Snap-on box. I want to get rid of this. So when I went onto the truck, by the way, I'm sharing with you all these different layers and like how I had to pay for it and how you had to do, you know, what is the weekly versus the 6 months same as cash, and then having to pay it off each week as I go in it. So really the 6 months same as cash is not really, I guess it's not same as cash, it's interest free. Same as cash would require a payment. And so the biggest problem I had was this stuff doesn't really make clear sense, like how much did I pay and where did I pay it, and remember I basically have an advanced degree in finance and mathematics, and I'm struggling to figure this stuff out, like really freaking struggling. And I guess one could argue don't mess with any of that stuff and you just go in and you pay the price. But again, you're paying a price, but you're not sure if that price is a good price or not. I just don't like that. So I ended up, so let's kind of break this down. So here's Snap-on, AKA the best. So my total Snap-on bill was $35,135.76. So that's my total, pre-tax. And then you can do the math and add the tax in. But, that breaks down into two different categories. So I had my box, my tool box was $14,810. That was my tool box. And then I had my tools. So the tools were $20,325.76. So that's the tools, and that's the tools, and that's the toolbox. So those two add up to my total. Okay, and so I ended up with 476 tools, 476 total tools. And I ended up with a $14,000 toolbox. Now, I had $2,500. So I had $2,500 in total EC, extended credit rebates. And so if you didn't do the financing plan, you don't get the rebate. And I think the rebate doesn't count against the truck guy, and so they're incentivized to, you know, they give you the rebate because they want to get it back from you eventually. And remember, the tool doesn't matter to them. The tool is not the thing. The tool is just the commodity. Maybe it matters to some of the franchisee, but I think as a corporation, I don't get the sense. The tool doesn't matter to me either because I'm just not excited about getting it. Just there's so much other jank. Watch the other videos where we talk about it. And then I had another $7,960, $79.60, $29 in discounts. So these two added up to give me a 27.8% discount off of retail. So my total expense with Snap-on is $27,126.98. That's Matt's price. Now, my problem is Matt's price probably sucks donkey balls in comparison to what Joe Average's price would be, or Joe Ballbuster's price would be. And so this is the part that I'm struggling with, is that where did this price come from? You just frickin' make it up. And so the guy would just put a discount in, or some of the BOGOs and some of the other nonsense. I'm not sure where my yard gnome came into the equation, or my, some of the other tchotchkes that I got. But what else did I get here recently? I got the cooler. I think I got some other stuff. I got that cool T-shirt. Go watch the Wear a video, or wear the cool flannel shirt. And so that was my price. And so the blue box out there, and then we add in another roughly $2,000. I didn't add it up yet. I'm going to, of tool grid. And so we end up with you know, say 29,000 bucks total. So I got a $30,000 toolbox with 476 tools. So if I took this and divided it by that, my price was it $47 per tool? Where's my phone? Do me some math there, Tommy. Give me 20,325.76 divided by 476. $42.70 on average per tool. Okay, so now this took me 3 months. I still don't completely understand, but I think I've got it. It took me about 3 months to figure it out with all my fancy diplomas. Okay. In true Snap-on fashion, everything's done with pen, paper, and pencil. Sonic, I'm using a computer, like, you know, we're in 2020, whatever. Sonic is two things. It's tools and it's a toolbox. Same thing as the Snap-on. I don't need any tool grid because I'm doing the foam inlay stuff. And so my, let's see, my Sonic, AKA Poser Tools. Sorry, Sonic. But, you know, that's who we are. We're the posers, you know, aircraft mechanics and rich guys like me, I guess, that people would say. Rich douchebags that don't belong in the garage and never use my tools, you know, that kind of thing. And so the Sonic setup, the way I set it up, I did my advanced package and we did 3 other to complement the toolbox. So we have 14,000. Oh, let me just give you the total. So the total was, let's see, I need to do 14,724 plus 5,830. So that's 19,000, 20,554. So that's for tools. So the toolbox is 58. I'm going to say it was 5830. 5830. And then the tools were 14,724. Boom. Now I got 980 tools in foam, you know, in fancy foam, right? So one could argue, and foam specifically designed to fit the drawers. Now, I'm not arguing that this toolbox here, I'm not arguing that the Sonic toolbox is better. I think the Snap-on toolbox will hold a little more, I guess, but I don't see how you could put enough in it to really matter, like in either box. There's only so many drawers, there's only so much stuff you should have. You shouldn't have a bunch of junk in there anyway. The toolbox to me, especially a 60-inch toolbox, should be a rolling toolbox. You should be able to roll it around. Park it in one spot doesn't make any sense. And so putting those giant casters on, you know, doesn't really help me because the casters on the Sonic are fine. They work great. And now we all know I'm not a fine guy, and like fine is never acceptable to me. But I think the casters on the Snap-on look frickin' stupid. I think the Snap-on fit and finish looks stupid. But I think that the drawer latch mechanism doesn't make any sense. But it is thicker gauge, it's heavier duty, it's a better toolbox. But is it 5830? Is it almost 3 times, so 2.5 times better? Abso-freaking-lutely not. Especially for those that are buying these things, that are doing all this financing nonsense, that like, I'm able to write this stuff off and like, you know, market it and sell stuff and make zillions of dollars off of this crap. If you're just Joe average, and you're buying this, you're freaking nuts. So, and now remember, we paid $11,000 for the toolbox, and that was Matt's screwed price, not the special negotiated price down here. But still, even if you got the special negotiated open box price, that's the other thing. I don't want to buy stuff that like I'm getting whatever's left over or whatever fell off the back of the truck. I want what I want when I want it. And so, and I don't want to have to play games. And when you want what you want when you want it, you're not getting the special negotiated fell off the back of the truck price. So we got 980 tools. That 980 tools, if we do the math there, you end up with $15.34 per tool. Now, we can go and argue tools back and forth, but if I go grab one for one, sonic screwdrivers are way better, you know, way nicer, way better, way more ergonomic, just nicer fit and finish. A lot of the pliers and stuff, their Sonic is just buying from NWS. NWS is absolutely better than the Snap-on stuff. The handles, I think that some of the Snap-on, like some of the diagonal cutters and stuff, have a nice blade and whatever, but the handles are junk. We do Knipex there instead of, I think, even instead of NWS. The ratcheting wrenches, I don't like shiny tools. I mean, the Snap-on wrenches are kind of nice, but they're 4 to 5 times the price. Just on average, we're at three times the price per tool on average. The wrenches, I think, are more like 4 or 4.5 times. The fit and finish of the Taiwanese made tools is better than the darn American stuff. I'm all for. I mean, I'm an American, born and bred, and but you got to buy the right thing. And so, I mean, the ratcheting mechanism, I think, is better on the Sonic than it is on the Snap-on. Now, the Snap-on hammers are freaking goofy. I'm sure they're super functional, but the Snap-on hammers are way better than the Sonic hammers. So there's tool for tool, one for one. You can make certain arguments. The ratchets, I don't like the Snap-on ratchets at all. I don't love the Sonic ratchets, but if I have them both in the garage and I've just kind of been going with my gut, like making sure I grab what I like. And even Mike F hasn't been like running over to grab the Snap-on stuff. So why is that? And we've been doing lots of work on several, the Evo, the Cayman GTS. I'm doing some work on my M3 the other day. It's not like I'm running over to the Snap-on box and grabbing the Snap-on stuff. I don't know if some of it's just familiarity, but it's just not very inspiring. It wasn't inspiring for the truck to come. It's not inspiring for me to grab the tools. It's just not, I mean, this Delta, and I love wasting money more than anybody. It's exciting to me. Again, you can say what you want, but I'm just telling you how the math works here. I need to stop injecting my own personal thoughts here. And so for our giveaway, we wanted to kind of make it somewhat equal. And so we were able to add in a 21 Milwaukee tool set, 21 piece. So we have what we call our ultimate, and we still didn't have enough money here. So that was $68.61. So this is $6,061 worth of Milwaukee tools, and then we added another $3,500 accessory package. So this is the drill driver accessory package of like all the bits and all that stuff. So that's another $3,500. That was 35, 45, and we're at $30,460 to make it a little bit closer here. So we're pretty close in Delta. So we have 980 tools versus 476. So double the tools. Plus, we'll show you this here. A pretty insane package of Milwaukee stuff and batteries and chargers and all that kind of crap and accessories. I need also, so there's also some tool grid in there. So I probably need about $500. It's probably more like $1,000 in tool grid, so I'm cheating a little bit here. Tool grid to organize all of our tools. So we have $31,460. Now this is retail. So retail to retail, we're still $4,000 less. And so for $4,000 less, I'm getting twice as many tools, so a more robust set of tools. I'm getting I think a much better looking set of tools. I'm getting a toolbox that isn't quite as robust, but in every way, fit and finish is better. I'm getting a toolbox that, it doesn't matter if a drawer can hold a lot of weight if you don't have a lot of weight to put in it. my argument would be, I'm going to take this without all that other crap, all this. So this sonic order was go to obsessgarage.com, and I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SKUs to my cart. Took me 12 and a half seconds to add those 5 SKUs to my cart, go to checkout. I know exactly what I'm paying. I know exactly what it costs. I know exactly what I'm getting. And I know that I'm going to pay the same price as what everybody else is paying, unless there's some sort of Labor Day sale or something. And then not only that, I can add in a bunch of Milwaukee stuff. I'm adding in $10,000 worth of Milwaukee stuff. So I got 10 G's worth of extra tools on top, which I'm going to want. And I've got a much, much more robust thing. If you're not stuck on this or this, again, I'm just sharing with you the process I went through. You could eliminate all of the financing stuff, but I wanted to see how it worked. I wanted to understand the process. Going through the process, I also wanted to understand if I was in love with this, if I was in love with the toolbox, if I was in love with the tools, and I just felt like, look, tools are just not for me to be. I can't sell Snap-on, and that's what some dum-dums are saying. Well, you can't sell Snap-on, that's why you're buying Sonic. Okay, you could make that argument. If Snap-on was the thing, you can believe me or not, I just wouldn't sell tools. Just like, well, can't go tools. Tools are taken care of. Can't do anything in the tool world. And what I'd be trying to do, I'd be figuring out how I could hire somebody and own a Snap-on franchise truck. I would, because you can own, you can be an owner and have, people work the truck for you. And then I would get access to Snap-on tools like crazy. I don't want it. I can't wait for that thing to get out of my frickin' garage. It's just in the way. It smells funny. It's greasy. It's just, and it's frickin' brand new. And I don't want to have to think about, I think I still owe some money, so I got to figure that out. And if I don't reach out, then, because now they transferred to a franchisee guy, I guess he's going to come see me every once in a while. But I got to pay the tab, I guess, so I don't end up paying $1 zillion in interest. I wanted to fall in love, and that's why I went through this process. It was kind of like when I bought the Corvette. I'm like, maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I need to fall. Maybe I just don't know what a great car is. And so I bought a C7 Corvette, and I've rubbed on that thing for 6 months. And I'm driving down the road, and I'm like wanting to say, roll down the window and say, hey, this isn't my car. But I'm like, oh shoot, it is my car. So I had to get rid of the thing. It's just different strokes for different folks. I don't think that's true. I didn't think it was true before I started. Now I know it's not. And part of it is all of this. I'm going to go throw these away as soon as I've been holding on to these for this video. Spent frickin' hours digging through this crap. Part of it is this. And actually, no, it's not, because I don't care about that. The more money, the more I feel like I'm getting a deal. A raw deal, but I feel like I'm getting something better. But it doesn't always hold true. I know you guys are going to flame me. I'm not even going to read the comments. I normally do. At least if you're going to make some comments, be less predictable. Be a little bit smarter. Go back and look at my track record. I'm not frickin' lying to you. I'm not just doing this for the money. This is pure passion for me. I'm not building Obsessed Garage to sell it. I'm not doing this to get rich. I'm doing it because I frickin' love doing it every day. I love playing with these tools. When this tool set showed up, this is probably the 10th or 12th time that I've gotten a set of foam inlays. And every single time it comes, I just can't wait to open. I'll stop doing whatever I'm doing and go and unopen those tools because it just feels right. It's exciting. It's fun to shop for. I was thinking that that would happen here. And they make it so darn clunky and so darn, I feel like I'm getting screwed the whole time. It just feels bad. And then the tools come and they're all greasy and dirty and scratched up, and they're brand new in the cellophane. I got a little bit excited when the toolbox came. The toolbox, I will say, is 20% better than I thought. But it's still not good enough that it's not even close to the best toolbox on the market. And it's at least 2 times the price of Lista and Rousseau, which I believe are the best toolboxes on the market. And the fit and finish is wonky. The fit and finish of the $5,800 toolbox is way better. I'll leave you with that. I think you can cross this off too. We'll see you on the next one. I'm going to finish up the toolboxes here in the next couple of days. The giveaway ends. I need to get both of the toolboxes out of my life, get them out of the way. But this was a necessary exercise, and I've decided, based on all of this data, all of this testing, all this playing around and trying to figure out the finance and trying to figure out the money and the costs, is that it's going to be worth it to me to chase and put together a package of tools that I like. And because of the amount of time, money, risk, trial and error, the whole learning process, I think that there may be some value, maybe not to professionals in the world, but to some people. So we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.